The Cleveland Torso Murderer. The Cleveland Torso Murderer, also known as the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run, was an unidentified serial killer active in Cleveland, Ohio, during the 1930s. This chilling case involved the gruesome dismemberment of at least 12 known victims, although some estimates suggest there could have been as many as 20. The case remains one of the most infamous unsolved crimes in American history and continues to intrigue and baffle investigators and crime enthusiasts alike. Background: the Cleveland Torso murders took place primarily in the area of Kingsbury Run, a notorious shantytown and industrial neighborhood in Cleveland. The victims were often vagrants, drifters, and sex workers who lived on the fringes of society, making the investigation particularly challenging. The murders. The first known victim of the Cleveland Torso Murderer was discovered on September 5, 1934. A young man found the lower half of a woman's torso, thighs still attached, but amputated at the knees, washed up on the shores of Lake Erie. This unidentified woman became known as the Lady of the Lake and was later linked to the torso murders due to similarities in the dismemberment techniques. Notable victims: 1. Edward Ondrashi, September 23, 1935, the first officially recognized victim. His decapitated and emasculated body was found in Kingsbury Run. Another unidentified body was found nearby, similarly mutilated. 2. Florence Polilio, January 1936, a barmaid and sex worker whose dismembered body was found in multiple locations. 3. The Tattooed Man, June 1936, an unidentified man found in Kingsbury Run, notable for his numerous tattoos. 4. Victims continued. Over the next few years, several more dismembered bodies were discovered in and around Kingsbury Run, all exhibiting similar signs of brutal decapitation and dismemberment. Investigation and challenges. The investigation was led by the Cleveland Police Department and specifically by Detective Peter Merlo and legendary safety director Elliot Ness, who was famous for his efforts against Al Capone. Despite their efforts, the investigation faced numerous challenges. Transient victims. Many of the victims were transients or people living on the margins, making it difficult to identify them and trace their movements. Lack of witnesses. The murders were committed with a high degree of skill and secrecy, leaving few witnesses or direct evidence. Forensic limitations. The forensic science of the 1930s was not as advanced as today, limiting the ability to analyze evidence. Elliot Ness and the Mad Butcher. Elliot Ness, who had a reputation for taking on tough cases, became deeply involved in the investigation. He ordered the burning of Kingsbury Run's shanty towns in an attempt to disrupt the killer's activities and push him out into the open. This controversial move, however, did not lead to the capture of the murderer and was criticized for displacing many homeless individuals without resolving the murders. Suspects. Over the years, several suspects have been proposed, but no one has been definitively proven to be the Cleveland Torso Murderer. Notable suspects include: 1. Dr. Francis E. Sweeney, a World War I veteran and a doctor who was known for his mental instability and had connections to the area. Ness himself suspected Sweeney, but he was never formally charged. 2. Frank Dolezal, a laborer who was arrested and confessed under duress to one of the murders. However, his confession was inconsistent, and he died under suspicious circumstances in jail. 3. Other suspects. Various other individuals have been suggested, but there has never been enough evidence to conclusively identify the killer. Legacy and cultural impact. The Cleveland Torso murders have left a lasting legacy in the annals of American true crime. The case has inspired numerous books, documentaries, and fictional portrayals. The brutal nature of the crimes and the mystery surrounding the killer's identity continue to captivate the public imagination. Conclusion. As we explore the case of the Cleveland Torso Murderer on True Crime, we will delve into the detailed timeline of events, the investigation, and the broader societal implications of this horrifying case. Join us as we examine the evidence, the impact on the community, and the ongoing debates about the identity and motives of this elusive killer. The story of the Cleveland Torso Murderer serves as a chilling reminder of the darker aspects of human nature and the challenges faced by early 20th century law enforcement in bringing justice to the victims.